Hey guys, OpenAI just announced the GPT-5 model. So we're just going to go through their paper which they have published on their website to learn what exactly they are bringing as part of the GPT-5 model. So let's go through this press release. So what exactly they are saying about the GPT-5 model is this, that this is their so far the smartest, fastest, most useful model yet which they have built. Okay, so this is a good news that they are claiming that this is their smartest, fastest, and most useful model yet from OpenAI side. That's a great news to all of us. Let us go deeper and try to see what exactly they have further mentioned in this paper. So if we go down, the GPT-5 is a significant leap in intelligence over all their previous models, featuring state-of-the-art performance across coding, math, writing, health. Is another very important point to note, that the GPT-5 is also good at health, then visual perceptions and more. Great. Now GPT-5 is available to all the users. This is another good news, because generally whenever they release the new models, those models are initially available only to the selected users. But this time they are saying that this GPT-5 is available to all the users, with plus subscribers getting more usage and pro subscribers getting access to GPT-5 Pro, a version with extended reasoning for even more comprehensive and accurate answers. So if you are a GPT or OpenAI Pro subscriber, then you are going to get an GPT-5 Pro, which is a far better than GPT-5. This is what they are claiming, because GPT-5 Pro has extended reasoning for even more comprehensive and accurate answers. This is another good news. Let's get going. Now they're saying that GPT-5 is unified system with smart and efficient model that answers most questions, a deeper reasoning model, GPT-5 thinking for harder problems, and a real-time router. This is another important point to note, that it has a real-time router that quickly decides which to use based on the conversation type. Okay, that means the GPT-5 itself has different types of model, like GPT-5 plain model or the GPT-5 thinking model. So how to decide which one to use, whether to use GPT-5 or whether to use GPT-5 thinking, is decided in the real time. So there is something called real-time router which they have implemented, and it analyzes the user intent and then routes the user query accordingly. So if it realizes that for this particular user query it requires a deep thinking, then the query will be sent to GPT-5 thinking, which is a very great move by OpenAI. All right. Now the router is continuously trained on real signals, including when user switches models, then preferences rates for response, and measure correctness, improving over time. So that means this real-time router is actually learning from your behavior and from your usage pattern. So it is not that this router is pre-trained and just fit into the pipeline. It is over the period of time, it is continuously learning your experience, your usage pattern, and accordingly it is going to route to the respective models. Okay. Now, once usage limits are reached, a mini version of each model handles remaining queries. Wow. So that means when, let's say you are a subscriber who is subscribed to even have access to GPT-5 Pro, but imagine if your subscription is reached a limit, then what they do, this router will actually able to have that view, and then it will start routing your query to the smaller version or the mini version of those models. Wow. So this router is actually then a smart router. I mean, this is another very good data which they have published, that the chat GPT, is commonly being used for this three category mostly, which is writing, coding, and health, and therefore the GPT-5 performance is actually way better than any other previous models, especially in these three category, which is a good news. Now, in the coding, what they're saying is that GPT-5 is our strongest coding model. So whatever coding models they have published so far, they're saying GPT-5 is our strongest coding model on date. It shows particular improvements in complex front-end generations and debugging larger repositories. You just write a simple prompt and then it can create the whole application or the whole website or the games for you. And for an example, they have given an example over here. So if you see this particular jumping ball runner, which is generated by the GPT-5, and you see here, this is the prompt which been given to GPT-5, that create a single page app in a single HTML file with the following requirements: name jumping ball runner, goal jump over obstacles to survive as long as possible. So these were the instructions given, and based on these instructions, GPT-5 generated this particular application. In fact, we can quickly test this. So I'll just copy this prompt from here. Okay, and I have GPT-5 here, so I can just go and paste this prompt instruction, and let's see what it does. So it is thinking longer for a better answer, creating game HTML. Okay, it is saying thought for this many seconds. Now it is writing the HTML file. So now I think it is done. So we just need to download this, and and then let's run this, and here you go. So this is the jumping ball runner. Jump over previous, survive as long as possible, speed keep rising. Okay, now start. Wow, you see, this app is now ready. Gone. Play again. So now these obstacles are coming, and I'll have to just make sure it jumps in time. Yep. Oh, gone. No problem. So great. So that's what they claim, that this can actually build such kind of an application in no time with just a simple prompt. Now I'm more interested to see what exactly they have got into the health department, because I still feel that there's a lot more to go as far as this healthcare is concerned with this AI and machine learning technologies. Now let's see what they're claiming for health. So they're saying GPT-5 is our best model yet for health-related questions, empowering users to be informed about the advocate for their health. The model scores significantly higher than any previous model on Health Bench. So they have this Health Bench, and they're claiming that on the Health Bench, whatever model they have published earlier, the GPT-5 is significantly higher on this scale. Now, to see what exactly is there in the Health Bench, we can actually just go and check what exactly is there in the Health Bench. Now, in the Health Bench, they have developed this Health Bench, and whenever they publish any model, they actually evaluate their model on this Health Bench marker to actually judge their model, like how good their model is as far as this healthcare is concerned. So they have this eval example, and then on this example, so they have this candidate response, and then they have this rubric criteria and the grade. So they have this scoring. So they have this kind of criterion, and on this criterion, this response is evaluated, and every criteria is having some points, and how in the response, if this criteria met the condition, then the whole point will be given, or the font will be adjusted accordingly. Okay, so then basis of this, every response is actually measured to see like how effective the model is generating the response for health related queries. Okay, so that is a good move as far as the GPT-5 is concerned. Now let us see what else they have. Okay, now they are here, they are comparing the other models with GPT-5. So if you see that in the evaluation, they are saying GPT-5 is much smarter across the board as reflected by its performances on academic and human evaluated benchmarks, particularly in math, coding, and the visual perceptions and health. Now you see this particular chart. This tells you that they have the GPT-5 Pro with no tools, then GPT-5, and then followed by this this O3 and GPT-4o. Now you can clearly see that these two models. So the one which is this color dark pink is actually with thinking capability, and these ones are without a thinking capability. And then you can see the accuracy score of the GPT-5 and how good they are actually performing. See now the further comparison for frontier math problem, and then you can still again see here that the GPT-5 Pro and the GPT-5 is far above compared to their GPT-4 Mini or O3. On the GPQ Diamond, this is a PhD level science questions. Here also you see this is the performance of the GPT-5 Pro family model and the GPT-5 model, and here you have this O3 and 4o, which is you can still see that far better than the previous models. So these are kind of results. Now on the coding side, you can see GPT-5 compared with O3 and GPT-4o. You see the difference. With thinking and without thinking, they're leading. With thinking, they're far better than O3 and GPT-4o. On the multi-model, this is again very important. On the multi-model, so you see the multi-model is where it is not only on the text, but you can also use the model for image and the video. So on the multi-model, you can still see this GPT-5 is better than the O3 and GPT-4o on all the benchmarks. And then on the health, we just compared. Here also we can see on the high level, GPT-5 is much better than, with thinking capabilities, much better than the O3 and the GPT-4o. And on the health bench, which is hard hallucinations, see the inaccuracy or the hallucination rate is so less on the GPT-5 with thinking and the GPT-5 without thinking, but if you compare this with the O3 and the 4o, their hallucination was much higher on the overall, it is faster, more efficient thinking. So overall, if you compare, the GPT-5 gets more value out of less thinking time. And in their evaluations, the GPT-5 with thinking performs better than O3 with 50 to 80% less output tokens across capabilities. And this is a very good numbers, because you are getting much better performance than O3 with 50 to 80% less output token. That means the output token is less than your they are going to charge you less because the charging is on token count, right? This is another good data to consume. Now, how to use GPT-5, right? So GPT-5 is new default in GPT-5 in ChatGPT, replacing GPT-4o and OpenAI. So basically, they're saying that the GPT-5 is now new default model. That means if you go to the ChatGPT, you will find the GPT-5 is actually the default. And how to use GPT-5 Pro? So for the most challenging complex tasks, we are also releasing GPT-5 Pro, replacing O3 Pro, a variant of GPT-5. So that is what they said. Now, if I go to the ChatGPT here, and I see, let me see if that's the default thing. So let me close this and start a new chat. And you see here the GPT-5 is actually, yes, right? It is the default model now on the ChatGPT.